Welcome to The Open Queue, a podcast where we talk about entertainment, pop culture, and the daily life of navigating the entertainment industry as a creative. I'm your host, Shaka and Omari, and I'm joined by my business partner, Charles Malone. We'll sometimes have other creative guests on to tell us about their journey in the industry, dealing with their ups and downs, struggles, and successes. We'll also touch on current changes to the business of television and film, as well as cue up what we're watching, listening to, or a piece of art we've been inspired by. The music you're listening to is called One Battle After Another, from the movie One Battle After Another, composed by John Greenwood. And now, let's get queued up. And once again, the queue is open. All right. So for this episode, this one I think is something we both watched that inspired us. So I'll get to the question about what inspired you this week. But it's One Battle After Another and the PTA universe.
Yeah, man. Paul Thomas Anderson is this his best movie? Like right now is ranked, and we'll talk about this later, at 95 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's his highest rated film. Before we say, is this better than Phantom Thread or Will There Be Blood? Let's get into this because it's been kind of a controversial movie a bit. Before we do, the question of what inspired us this week was easy for me because I saw this in theater, and this is the type of film, because I won't say movie on this one. This is the type of film that reminded me why I wanted to make films. It really, I left the theater with my mind buzzing and shots and scenes, and there's Oscar nominations coming out of this film for sure.
Yeah. I agree with you. This, I remember texting you immediately after seeing this and being like, this is art. This is filmmaking. This is the craft. This isn't just hey, this is a business and we need to make a movie and this is a fun idea. This is,
this is to me is that line I think we talked about before, of art and commerce. I think it kind of technically is a flop at the box office considering the budget and what it made back, but I think it's gonna make it. I think it's gonna do fine once the award seasons and downloads, because it's a movie that I plan on owning.
I think it's one that can stand the test of time.
So I'm glad you said that, because we're gonna just jump right into talking about this before we give the summary of the movie. Time period wise, it was really interesting because I couldn't tell the time it took place. I knew it could be 2010s to now, but when they do their mini time jump in the film, where they flash forward 16 years, you can't really tell, which kind of will make it timeless, hopefully, in the long run. But do you want to give us a synopsis about this movie?
Sure. I do want to say there's something else besides this that did inspire me. I ended up going to the Academy Museum to see the Jaws exhibit. And, I just went there to see the Jaws exhibit, and I ended up walking around and taking a look at the story of cinema. They have that exhibit up. They have, oh my gosh, Boone, Korean director that did Parasite. I can't.
Bong Joon-ho.
Thank you. Yes. I knew you would know because I know you love Korean cinema. They have an exhibit up about his stuff. And I just found it really inspiring to just be in that environment and just look at the techniques of filmmaking. They had the notes that Steven Spielberg had on the Jaws script for filming. They had some of the cameras that they use, like the Panasonic underwater one for the Parasite. They had storyboards and what the director was thinking about. What's the scary movie he did with that weird amphibious thing?
The Host?
Yes, The Host. And what his thought process was for that, and the deeper meaning. So all of that, just being in that environment. If you're out in LA and you haven't been to the Academy Museum, I think it's a really nice museum to go to not just see the history of filmmaking. They had this other exhibit that showed Hollywood from the 1900s and would go through the timeline of when every studio was brought up and how it was built out and how the city changed. I think it's really inspiring just to read and see what the directors were thinking and the movie making process and the props and all of that stuff. So going along with that in this movie, it reaffirmed, I just love this business.
There will be a PTA exhibit at some time in history in the museum. And whether you're just visiting LA, it's worth visiting. But I will say specifically, if you are a filmmaker or interested in pursuing the industry and you've become jaded, and sometimes it's nice to just go to that museum because it reminds you why you wanted to do this. It's another place to get inspired and motivated.
And sometimes when they have the exhibits, you can read about the person's struggle or what they were trying to do, which just lets you know you're not alone. But with that, coming back to one battle after another. Spoiler alert. So if you have not seen the movie, pause now, go watch it. Please go watch it. If it's still in theaters by you, please go watch it in the movie theaters.
Yeah, it's definitely worth seeing in the movie theater.
It is something that, yes, you should see out there. It's basically a radical former activist is forced back into fighting mode in a world of upheaval. So he has done some things in the past. He disappears for a while. He has a young daughter, and his past comes back to haunt him, basically.
Yeah. And we're going to get into the specifics. So again, go ahead and pause this thing and go watch it because I'm going to spoil it. Man, right? Okay. So just what a way to start the film. Like I was sucked in with the opening sequence. Like the music is a huge part of this film. And I think when we did highest to lowest, the music there had really similar thing. It was across the whole film. It was very loud. It was distracting. But I think a lot of that was because the music they chose didn't really match the scene or tone of what was going on. This film, it really drives the film. But man, when they first go into that encampment, and y'all, this movie, people are trying to say like, well, it's not really a political, this is absolutely a political film.
Yes.
It is slapsticky and it's like a screwball, silly film while simultaneously having a lot to say. So it opens on, I think they're on like a detainment camp that they approach and they're going to like free people.
Yes, they want to liberate people who have been crossing the border and have been put into internment camps, I guess is the best way to put it. But it's a rebel group called, I think, the French 75.
Yep.
And we start off getting dropped right in the middle of their organizing, getting ready to go liberate these people. And then we watch that drive through. And basically, this is their first battle into liberating people from a capitalistic environment. That is the overall theme through this, is that kind of battle between liberation and the capitalistic society. And you're right. The music, I don't even remember what the music was in that point, but it drives through. And the way that they get into that internment camp and that scene between Sean Penn and, why can I not think of her name right now? At the beginning, where she is basically announcing who they are. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Just the grittiness of it, the manipulation that she does to him, the reaction that he has to the whole thing, the power dynamic, like you at that point, it's like buckle the fuck up.
Oh man, and the performances of the actors across the board in the first 15 minutes of the film, if you're not sucked in, I'm surprised and would love to know why. Because man, like Sean Penn,
Tiana Taylor,
Taylor. Yeah. I mean, Regina Hall, Leo. It's captivating, man. Like,
yeah,
they're so immersed in these characters. Leo does it again. Like
everybody,
as Ghetto Pat. Like
everybody, the Chase, the one who plays his daughter, actress Chase, nails it. Like,
sure.
I think she did. I think she did a great job hanging out with those heavyweights. Like, yeah. She did not pull me out. I didn't go, oh, this is a young actor. Da, 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 da. I was like, oh, you're hanging with these heavyweights. That scene with her and Sean Penn at the end, I was like, okay, like you're keeping with it.
It's like there's almost no wasted time. And usually I'm hypersensitive to a pacing of the film. Leaving the film, my fiance thought it was a little long in some of the scenes. Like the driving scene specifically for her when they're going up and down the hills went on really long.
So that for me as well. I was like, I started laughing because I was like, okay, this feels like a director darling moment right now.
And like there's maybe one or two things that like I would trim fat. But besides those things, it's almost hard to cut any other scene because it just drives the next one. For me, that could have been cut, but it was just funny and fine. I'll allow it, is when the kids are like running across the rooftop and you're jumping like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I've been young and in serious situations that I didn't take serious because you're just like hyped up on adrenaline. You think it's fun because you're rebelling. And it really resonated with me because like I know what it's like to be in something similar to that. But did you need it? No, it could have been cut because it was just for fun.
Yeah, it could have, yes. Or it could have been cut down,
Yeah.
shortened a bit, like it didn't have to go on and on because we kind of got the joke that these kids are obviously athletic and he's clearly out of shape and not
The rebel
that he used to be. Yeah.
But I really do feel that almost every scene drives the next one.
Yes.
Like sometimes you're watching a movie and you're like, okay, what does this really add?
Right. Like some scenes feel like a setup. None of this felt like a setup. It's like, that's why I was like, buckle the fuck up because it's just
one that you could argue could be cut down the comedic, and I am maybe reading into this, and I don't know if he do the same. It totally was like resetting your password at Apple when you forget the passphrase or the question.
Yeah.
You can't reset your password because you made this security password up forever ago and you don't remember what your mascot of the thing was or your grandma's favorite song. Like, I made this when I was 16. No, I don't remember that. Like, come on, like, help me out. He's like, I'm gonna speak to your manager. And the manager puts you back on the phone and makes you apologize to the customer.
Yeah.
And the customer's like, you're not sorry.
Yep. For anyone that's worked in the service industry, I'm sure you all have a story like that.
Oh, it was so Apple. I was dying all the time. You didn't need it. It was totally there to be funny.
Yeah,
that one I will say, but the rest of the film.
Which I think like that's what's really great about this movie. The style and tone of it deals with I think it's gritty, like, and to the sense you're talking about, it deals with really human behaviors, the idea of liberation, the idea of turning rat and surviving for yourself in this situation, fighting against a system that's much bigger than you, trying to join a system that goes against your values. Because I think that Sean Penn's character showed that, like, he likes a certain thing, but to be in the society he wants to be in, he has to erase that part of himself.
Also, there's a lot of self-hatred there.
Yes.
I think that like the film itself, one battle after another, is heavily implied through several characters. It's like, it's life, man. It's literally just
life is one battle after another. Trying to be a good dad, trying to be a revolutionary, trying to be a revolutionary that's now willing to sacrifice her life for what she was or not. Like,
but evenly Beverly Hills, like her character herself, the self-hatred of like, man, she was kind of mad that she didn't have the motherly instinct and like hating herself for being jealous of her daughter who's getting all the attention now.
So I have a question on that. I wonder, did she know that she was pregnant with Sean Penn's character and that's why she was like that? Because remember, there's that line where Leo says, yeah, the way that she's drinking, you would think like she wasn't pregnant. And I'm wondering if she felt guilty about that particular situation. And so there was some, to your point, self-loathing and hatred because she loved her daughter, but at the same time, her daughter reminded her that she was not as hardcore about.
Maybe. I will say, I, as an audience viewer, knew immediately as soon as they showed her belly and she's shooting the gun, I was like, oh, that's his kid.
Yeah.
So when the twist of like running the DNA, there wasn't really
a shot for you.
Yeah, I was like, that's his kid. Like, if this line is going to be straight, I'm like, it's going to be straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think about that part of like, was she angry because she knew? You didn't necessarily know the timeline between when she was hooking up with Leo and when she went to hook up with that was definitive. I just knew that's where it was going. But that is interesting.
Yeah,
maybe that's why she was mad.
Because she's sleeping with the enemy and now she had a kid with the enemy. Like, what does that do to you mentally?
No,
you're not true, especially when her parents and grandparents say that she's a true revolutionary. It's like, would a true revolutionary have an affair with the enemy and have a kid?
Yeah, that's human.
I agree it's human, but I'm wondering to your point, like the self-loathing and self-hatred, how does that affect? Because it's almost like you're not being real to the people in your group.
My thing is like, would a real revolutionary be selfish, not in their like personal relationships, but for the revolution itself? Because like she just sells everybody else out and goes and lives her life like that.
Right. Which is why they call her, the rat. Yeah. Again, that's a battle she had to fight. It's so.
Yeah. I mean, the movie itself, because of Lockjaw, Sean Penn's character's name, who's, this military vet who impregnates this resistant person, then uses his power to get her out of trouble just for her to leave him. And, flash forward, he gets the chance to join this very elite secret racist white organization called the Christmas Adventurers.
Yeah.
And they were like, do you have anything that would make you unworthy? Which he lies about and sets him off on trying to go and bury his past because he knows he might have a biracial daughter.
Right.
I watched this movie in a very packed majority white and Asian theater where I was probably one of the few speckles of pepper in a sea of salt. And I'll tell you, one of the scenes where the Christmas adventurers are discussing the fact that Lockjaw might have like a biracial daughter, and they're using a lot of derogatory terms that are supposed to be funny. And like, I laughed out loud. Like, it's meant to be funny, and it was, but the uncomfortability of the theater was so palpable. The black or racial comments from the Christmas adventurers, you could tell made the theater so uncomfortable that I found that funny because I knew what other people around me were feeling. When the lights came on and I had to walk through the front of the theater, like I looked up at the theater and I could just tell people were like, "Oh fuck, don't look at me!" Like, and it's so funny. So this movie has actually been really controversial. MAGA has said it's inspiring like leftist violence. The Christmas tree people is like, well, there's this conspiracy that there's a large like racist white origin. It's like, yeah, but like the self-hatred from Lockjaw's character, he wants to join this elite group of white individuals who get, you know, the best of everything. And I love the fun satire that Paul Thomas Anderson's poking at it, because I think one of the things that they say to Lockjaw when they first like approach him is like, no, you're not the smartest, you're not the best soldier, you're not the most qualified, but you are superior.
Yes. Again, the way that he like slides things in there is so interesting, because Lockjaw specifically says at one point, I think to Leo's character, he loves black women. Yeah. Like he actually gets upset when he realizes Beverly Hills is dating Leo. Like he gets annoyed by that because he wants to be the one. And he does all that stuff just to buy her a house, and he comes to show up with roses. So it's so very funny that the society he wants to join in doesn't actually accept him fully. So he can't even accept himself fully, which is where a lot of his angst and anger comes from. He has to now erase a part of himself to join this quote unquote superior society. It's like, really? Like, it's, again, that is brilliant in it. Benicio del Toro, sensei, I absolutely loved in this thing how calm and collected he is, that you think he's not doing anything until you realize he has a whole underground operation dealing with immigrants. And he's so cool and collected about the whole thing. He's just a shout out to that part of the movie. You know, just showing that there are people out there who are trying to help these immigrants start a new life while living their life, and they think nothing of it. Like they're just like, this is what we need to do. He has that going for him. The scene in which they, again, talking about the style and tone, when they have the protest because they go to a sanctuary city, is what they call it. Lockjaw makes up a reason to go into the sanctuary city, which I thought, again, is probably why MAGA was upset, because they have no reason to go in there, but they construct an idea because Lockjaw wants to find his daughter, basically, and erase
Give me a reason to go there.
So they make a reason to go there, and it's on immigration, and they just start harassing people. So it's a sanctuary city, so obviously people are going to stand up for the immigrants. So they have this protest going, and again, they do the thing which is like, let's fight fire with fire. And they have masked individuals come in and start throwing bottles at the military.
To be specific, the side that's sanctioned, like, let's go, not the sanctioned side, the side
military
that's military who decided to make a reason to go into this city, has agents infiltrate the protest side just to incite violence, which we saw like documented proof during 2020, the Black Lives Riot matters. They like, it's known that like people got caught from the other side coming to incite violence to stir things up. So it's like, it's not very far-fetched. It's not that much satire as much as it is like, again, art pulling from reality. You know, like going into Portland for what reason? Or let's send the military to San Francisco for what? We'll find a reason. Yeah, it's very. Is it a very anti-fascist film? Yeah, I hope it is. And I hope he absolutely intended it to be, because like, this is the type of like art we need now.
Yes.
Because entertaining with something to say, because the movie, take out all the political stuff, is highly fucking entertaining, y'all.
It's super entertaining. Even in that protest thing, that's the part you're talking about with the kids jumping over the roof. Leo's character has become such an out of shape, I think that's a beautiful thing about the thing is like as a youth, he's all, yeah, until he has the baby. And then he's like, we're a family now.
Well,
we have something else that we have to think about.
It does change you. Speaking from my own personal experience, that like you have a kid and it reshapes your priorities or how you think and how you approach things. And again, I use this word before on the podcast, but the duality of like, man, I still want to fight these like fights, but now I have a kid to think about. Like,
so it's a different fight.
Yeah, but like do you put yourself in the way of danger like you would have without the kid?
Right.
It's a harder choice to make. Simultaneously, I think you want to set, speaking from my own personal opinion, you want to set the right example of like, there are certain things that are worth fighting for. So it's another battle.
It's another battle. You go from fighting just for yourself to now, what risk do you take with your daughter? It's
even when he goes to the school and he's like, are you guys teaching the right history? You're teaching,
yeah.
Which, I think is a small commentary on, not just leaving it up to the schools to educate your kids. I think a lot of people send their kids to school and it's like, well, that's the school's job. And maybe I'm being a biased parent, but I think, it's as much as a parent's job also to make sure that your kids are getting instilled with the lessons that you want them to learn, and not just, and you could devil's advocate and say that about the far right too. I'm pretty sure they're doing it. But, we got to do our best to teach history as it happened, or you're doomed to like repeat
it. Yep.
Or just use it as a blueprint. Sorry, you let me off on this mic. It's gonna happen.
No, I mean, like, I agree with you. Like, use it as a blueprint. That's what we are seeing now. It's insane, which is why they're having the reactions that they're having to this, because I don't think anything in that movie you can't point to and say, oh, but that's reality. And that, I think, is what the discussion is on this. The sanctuary city thing, that's currently happening. The idea that people are getting squeezed out and are upset, that is currently happening financially. People having self-loathing and hatred about themselves, that is currently happening. And since we're on the mic, the idea that there is a super cabal of people at the top who only think a certain way. Well, there's some people there was a swastika behind a the young Republicans, I'm just going to say it, they had a bunch of Nazi and derogatory and racial comments in their chat. I mean,
it's not that far-fetched.
No.
And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it again. I'll say it till it's blue in the face. We need to start examining, as humans, as people, things that make us feel bad or uncomfortable about ourselves, because you're feeling that for a reason.
Yes.
And it's your job to unpack it and figure out what you want to do with it. So if you watch a movie like this and you're feeling uncomfortable, think about why.
Yeah. Like, I think that's the whole point of art. Art is expressing the human condition. So if you're uncomfortable about something, this is your way, your catharsis to say, hey, let me review. If I'm uncomfortable, let me change. And I think that's the hardest, as Michael Jackson would say, man in the mirror. I think that's the hardest thing for people. I think it says it in Catcher in the Rye as well. It is difficult for people to think they could be, as in like Lockjaw's character, they could be the thing it is they don't like. Instead of just saying, but I like those things. So let me see how I can either make it work, or if I need to change. And I don't understand why a lot of people don't like living in uncomfortability, because it's literally life. It's one battle after the other.
Yeah, I agree. And I do want to like talk about the other side of things. I have heard of a couple of controversies from the Black perspective on the film. Some people had uncomfortabilities on how like Black women were portrayed in the film. My fiance is not Black, felt, she was like, is this stuff too on the nose? Like when they rob the bank and they're like, this is, so it left her feeling like she admitted that she doesn't know, but it's like, it feels like too on the nose, especially as a white guy writing it. I didn't feel the way, and I maybe I'm assuming because I admittedly don't know. So all I will say is I hoped that when casting this to a degree and writing it, he got input from Tiana Taylor or Regina Hall or someone that helped him shape how these characters spoke.
So I guess I missed the controversy on that side. What was the issue? It was like the way that they talked.
Yes, like no black woman talks like this, and putting them always in an aggressive standpoint. There has been some comparisons to Ashanti Shakur, like Tupac's, especially since she just passed RIP recently. I don't know. I've heard like mixed things. My personal like dive, I've seen nothing but people like accepting the film. My also own personal opinion, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was the Tiana Taylor's character and the Regina Hall character showed in one scene that we're not a monolith.
Yeah.
When like Ghetto Pat, Leo's character, does his big display of fireworks and it's all blowing up and he's like shouting all this ghetto stuff, which is hilarious. But Leo did this, by the way.
Yeah.
And Tiana Taylor's character is hypercharged. Like they get in the car and she's like all over Leo and yelling. And like Regina Hall character kind of just looks back like you need to chill.
Yeah.
They exchange this look of like she's wild.
But that's the impression that I got because she got turned. I mean, like the scene in the beginning with Lockjaw, making him get it up. She gets hypercharged sexually by these moments of power. Like that's her thing. I mean, like the way that she has a power dynamic like thing.
But I specifically like that Regina's Hall character
is the opposite.
The polar opposite of her character. They're both here to fight for the resistance. They're both here doing the right thing for the cause in two very different approaches to show that like
that we're human and not a monolith because the black dude's in there. Did anyone have a problem with the black dude?
No, or the other black woman who does like walk across the bank thing and like says the thing.
Yeah,
she looks completely in shock when Tiana Taylor kills the bodyguard.
100%.
Like, oh, I didn't know we were here for that. So I personally didn't have. I'm just saying like some of the things I've heard to like talk.
No. Yeah, I'm not coming at you. I just find that very again monolithic. It's just like there's all of those women in there have a different dynamic. The one you're talking about walking on it, she has kind of like a hippie. View. Tiana Taylor clearly is the more aggressive of them. The Regina Hall character seems to be a little bit more of the logical thinker one. Even when she shows up, she's more of like the planner. Hey, do you have this? You lied to me. Being very calm and practical. Like
I even like the part with her and the nun who's like, I don't know how you still fight for this. Like, I'm tired.
Yeah, the nun's like, no, I'm done with. Like, it just showed a different dynamic of all these different characters and what this battle has taken their toll on them. Like life. Yeah, I don't know. There's different types of revolutionaries.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it is. You have your Malcolm X and you also have your Martin Luther King. There's different ideologies when it comes to revolutionary. I don't know if one is better than the other. I think it just depends on the context of the situation.
The Charles Xavier's Magnetos. It's the same thing to a degree. We just go about it very differently. Yeah. So I don't know. The fact that I still feel so emotional talking about this film and like it's a mark to me of a great film.
Yeah.
And I think Paul Thomas Anderson is one of those filmmakers whose movies usually tend to leave a lasting impression of some kind. And just going off one bit, unless you have some more to say on one battle after another.
I'm now like so dropped into remembering and reminiscing that movie that I'm just, I'm trying to think if there's anything other than we talked about, but the whole thing is a complete package.
I want to talk about some of his other films because like one of the immediate like conversations I had with my neighbor right away before they saw the film, they started looking stuff up and like talking to other people, which I feel like I was like, dang, why are you doing that, man? Just go watch the film because like he heard that someone said it's better than There Will Be Blood. And I was like, hey, you're kind of tainting the film because you're going in already stacking it up against something else. Like let it be what it is and then decide. Going in expecting one film and then it might not hit that is going to leave you disappointed. But I also love There Will Be Blood.
Same.
I personally like this one than There Will Be Blood because of the more like comedic, additional comedic elements. Like I don't know if he 100% meant the slap to be as comedic as it was in There Will Be Blood. It's one of my favorite scenes when Paul Dano was just slapping the shit out of him. It's like so funny. Or I drank your milkshake. It's just so funny.
That seemed so weird to me, like kind of out of place. Where I feel like the comedy in one battle after the other was really well placed and well timed and well delivered. Also, shout out to Leo in that movie, real quick. When he speaks Spanish and does the Mexican whistle, kudos, man. Kudos as an actor.
Across the board on all the stuff that he does in the film.
Yeah. Kudos. Talk about disappearing into a character. But There Will Be Blood, absolutely loved. Thought it was good. Because again, you know me, I like historical stuff.
Boogie Nights, I don't know if you remember it.
Again, like historical stuff. Boogie Nights, awesome. Just so awesome. Who is it? Burt Reynolds' greasy self? Come on. Heather Graham, Mark Wahlberg. Great.
I think I've talked about this on another podcast at some point, but one of my crushes, or maybe this was off the podcast and I'm just going to reveal myself, has always been like Julianne Moore.
Yeah. We have discussed that off the podcast.
Okay. Well, now it's on the podcast. Even so much so when she did her, I think she was Baldwin, the biggest Baldwin. The one that's like,
Alec?
Yeah. Alex Baldwin's wife in 30 Rock is Julianne Moore. She has a Boston accent. I was like, yeah. This would be being a masshole. Big fan. But yeah, Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Solid. For fashion reasons, like my mom did interior design. I grew up with sewing machines and fabrics and like Phantom Thread and some of the dresses in Phantom Thread.
So I haven't seen that one. Haven't seen Phantom Thread yet, but I know of it. I just
work. Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the best method actors, if not the best the Tom Brady of method acting of all times. Never fails to deliver. The like costume design is superb.
Yeah,
I'm someone who like.
I know. You're a fashion guy.
Like the city, the majority of fashion, Sex in the City, awesome.
Yeah.
I did not like Licorice Pizza. It is really high up there. It came out.
Yeah. I did see that one
3-4 years ago.
Yeah. It didn't have an impact on me. I guess that's the best way to put it.
But it's like, it's really high rated. And I just one that just didn't. It's one of those movies that maybe it wasn't for me.
Right. Yeah. That's why I said it didn't resonate with me that much. It was nice, but it didn't resonate with me.
I think when people think Paul Thomas Anderson, sometimes they're like, what? One of my like ones that I really did enjoy was Punch Drunk Love. But what I love about Punch Drunk Love is some people either love it or hate it. I think the people that hated it saw Adam Sandler and was like, oh, this is going to be like, haha, funny.
Yeah.
And it was not.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, Magnolia. I never liked.
So Magnolia, if I turn on my TV now, you would see it's on my watch list. I have known about that movie since, when did it come out? 1999? I have known about that movie. I've seen clips from that movie. For some reason, I have not sat down and actually watched that movie. I don't know why. And I have it on my up next list because I'm like, just hit play and watch this thing.
Have you seen the cast?
Yes, I know. Trust me, I know. In 1999, I was very much, when that movie came out, I was like, because I saw clips of it, I was like, I want to be in a movie like this. I want to do a movie like this, even though I've never seen the movie. Tom Cruise in that movie, bro. Again, I've seen the cast. I just need to sit down.
I can say Julianne Moore.
Okay, for your love of Julianne Moore, I will hit play.
As a person, just have always had crushes on like older women. Like for the longest time, you're like, "What's your celebrity hall pass?" I don't necessarily believe in hall passes, but the running joke, if I did have one, it was like Helen Mirren.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think she was everyone's hall pass. The woman is just beautiful, inside and out. At least she seems so from the inside in the interviews, and outside, yes.
So going back to like just like PTA, just his filmography masters. Philip Seymour Hoffman is another like R.I.P. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I had the luxury of meeting him once. Very nice guy, brilliant actor.
Inherent Vice,
which I haven't seen that one.
I did not enjoy.
Okay, yeah,
kind of like Licorice Pizza. It wasn't for me. I think I like the style it was going for, but I've never seen Heart Eat. That was the movie of his I've never seen. It was 1996.
No, I didn't see that one.
His filmography, that's the only one I didn't see unless there's like earlier films.
I think I was too young for that.
It doesn't mean you're too young. Just like, and even as an adult, I have never went back and tried to watch it. Cause like I was too young for Nolan's The Following, but as like cinephile and young film buff, it was
you went back
to go back. Yeah, it's also like if you're gonna rob a house, the genius thing of robbing a house in the daytime is you look like you're going home and think no one's really suspecting anything. I was like, oh, that's smart.
That does make sense. Yeah. Huh. No one would question it.
Yeah, but no, to me, like just listing some of his films, this to me is up there with Magnolia, There Will Be Blood, and Boogie Nights.
Yeah. Now, do you think it's because it feels relevant to this time that adds some extra to it? Or is it just from a filmmaker's standpoint? You
I would
feel so?
say just the energy of like you don't necessarily know what they're doing when they first pull it. Just like the opening scene, it's the intensity of the film.
Yeah.
I think I can't say no that because it's really poignant for like what's going on today. That is not like a cherry on top. But I think if this was just made, it would still be just as good. Because think about it, the characters are so well developed and
Yeah.
lived in.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I can
And
say.
again, it's dying. You can feel this. It's palpable, like the energy of this film.
Yeah. That's what I can say. Even in the beginning, when you meet everybody, when they're gathering, it just feels, again, like you're just watching a group of people. It doesn't feel like characters. It's like, what's going on? And everyone, you just enter into a world established.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, it's buckle up because you get Beverly Hills hyper energy from the get-go.
Yeah.
And then I do feel like it transitions for a second when you have Leo's energy until that same revolutionary energy that Lockjaw brings stirs everything up again.
And I think there's like classic like foreshadowing and whether it's like script or film techniques, like the plant and payoff, like really early when they're like, okay, here's this device. If this device is going to emit a signal, and like if someone has the same signal, then like and like you can trust this person. Like they're setting this up, and then Leo, fast forward 16 years, they forgot about the resistance. He's now just full dad. He forces the daughter to take it out, and she's like, "This thing never works." And like and you're just waiting that somewhere in the film, this thing
is gonna have some use. Off. Yeah.
So
it's perfectly timed. Again, the tone, the style, the pacing, the energy. Beverly Hills in the beginning, her energy, and then Leo's scattered energy of trying to remember everything through the rest of the movie is great.
And there's so he does a good job of juggling all these characters.
Yes.
There's also on the Christmas Adventurers, there's like a guy that's sent out to clean everything up. There's the bounty hunter who like they have like pick up people that they need picked up. Even the military lackey that does the interviews have such an intense energy.
He's good. Kudos to that actor as well.
Yeah, I mean,
like, yeah.
Just when I say like everyone,
yes,
for the most part, holds their own with these titans. Like you think about Benicio, Sicario, you think about Leo and his entire filmography, like, but everyone like brings their A game on this film. Even one of the resistance was, I think she's a lead in Licorice Pizza. When they all get arrested after the thing. Superb.
So please go see it in the theaters if it's around you. Like I think this is one worth seeing.
Yeah, this is one I will second that is could you watch it and still enjoy it at home? 1,000%. But is it absolutely worth seeing on a big screen, immersive in the sound? Like it, yeah.
It's good. So I think you did have some questions that you wanted to ask the audience, right? Just for our listeners. I think one of them was, how do you feel about films that blend big budget action with auteur sensibilities, right? That you wanted to like elaborate a bit on that?
Just again, I think we keep using this term, or at least I do, that line between art and commerce, right? Like how do you make something that is like commercially viable and yet still says something? It's something that like I struggle with as an artist myself. I think sometimes I have a hard time just doing something simple and fun because my brain is also like, yeah, but what does it mean? Me and Katya, when we're talking, I was like, well, does this have a soul? Like we talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, can something be commercial and have a soul? I think the answer is yes, because Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
So it's just finding that line. Maybe this, if you're listening, do you have another example of something that you felt was like, really big budget, but is also very heartfelt, or like, had a beating heart to it. Yeah. Or if you have your own ranking of PTA, I haven't seen High Eights, or you might think Inherent Vice is your favorite, or Masters is your favorite. Drop it in. Licorice Pizza wasn't for me. So if it was for you, what was it about it, and why do you rank it that high?
Now, I also have, talking about from the Black perspective of this movie, what films do you feel like come from the Black perspective about activism in this kind of tone of this movie. I think that would be, if you have any, let us know. I think that'd be really interesting. I'm sure you have some, Charles, but
I think we should do a whole separate
podcast.
Give it its full due.
Okay, great. So then, yes, please send us your ideas so we can talk about them or what you think.
All right, hit them with the where to catch us.
Yes. So you can follow us on Instagram at the Open Queue, TikTok, because we created a TikTok. I have no idea what I'm doing on TikTok. So if you know anything about TikTok, hit me up about that. But we also have an Open Queue TikTok, Open Queue Productions. You can also follow me specifically, Shaka Omari, ShakaOmari on Instagram. That's where you can find me. And then for Charles,
he's gonna make me do this Good Belly thing on the Belly app.
Hey, it's not just me. My sister also. My sister said she's actually going to follow you.
But the best pizza in LA and America right now, one of the top ones that they're saying is supposed to be this place, Pizza Sia. I don't know, SEI.
SEI, I guess, yeah.
But it's like literally rated like the best pizza in America.
Wait, is it out here in LA?
Yeah, it's out here in LA.
Interesting.
But to us East Coasters and things, it's not like a slice of pizza. It's more like the Italian pie style, like pie. Not the best pizza in America. Just gonna say that. It is good though. So if you're here, check it out. It is really high rated.
Yeah.
Everyone else loves it. But does it touch like a really good slice from some of the best places I've had? No.
So go check it out. Hit us up. Let us know what you think. If you agree with Charles on that one. Having lived on the East Coast, I have to say East Coast pizza. Best pizza.
Yeah. But yet again, it's Pizza Sia keeps ranking the top 50, the top 10 in America. And it's good, but it's not beating a slice.
All right. On that note, I feel like I'm going to go grab a slice of pizza. We'll see you next time.
In the queue.
In the queue.
Bye.
The Open Queue is an Open Queue production. If you like the show, be sure to follow, rate, and review it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. And tell your friends and family to do the same. Also, feel free to share a link to someone who you think might really enjoy this conversation. The music you're listening to is called Trust Device, from the movie One Battle After Another, composed by John Greenwood. Until next time, see you in the queue.